Happy Friday, y'all. Trying to pop in here real quick and hit this live for my challenge. I told you guys that I'm not letting go. I'm going to continue to do my 30-day live challenge, and I'm gonna finish it out strong. Uh-oh. And I'm gonna finish it out strong since I had to pause. This is now day 26 out of 30 that I have gone live. Yes, y'all. It's amazing, and I'm thankful. Today has been um a good day. I did the last 2 days I've been out networking. Most of you guys know that I work from home, so I'm home most of the time. Um, and so going out 2 days in a row, and I have to do some things tomorrow. Going out 3 days in a row, your girl is like, ooh, outside. Here's what I learned and what I realized. I do not like traffic. Okay, I was so vexed and irritated this morning. And yesterday for due to traffic, like I was lightweight vexed, y'all. I am not going to even play. Um, I am not going to even play. I was lightweight vexed about this. Um, about the traffic. I was like, oh, first of all, where's everybody going? Okay, you probably going to work. It's early in the morning. Two, why are you slowing down for no reason? Like it was just so irritating. But I got through it and got there and really actually enjoyed both of the events that I went to the last couple days. And so today's topic, as I was sitting in these rooms, one room I've been in this same room, this atmosphere with this summit 3 years in a row. The other one was a new room that I was in. And the room I was in yesterday, I knew people in that room already. The room I was in today, I knew no one in that room. I knew myself. I was the only person that I knew in that room. And so I sat there and I was like, wow, isn't it crazy how seasons have changed for me and how I am just walking into new rooms, based off of where I am in life right now and what I'm doing in life. And so there's a newness about just in a freshness about the things that I'm doing and people that I'm meeting and just the atmosphere that I'm placing myself in, which also led me to look at the fact that because seasons change, um, the people that I'm around are is changing. That my thought process is changing. Um, my expectations are changing. What I want to deal with and what I don't want to deal with has changed and is changing. And I want you guys to really look at that seasons do change. Like your life, I feel like it should be a progression of change and growth. And if it's not, if you're stagnant, then you gotta kind of pause and focus and really, hey, and really look at that and really look at why am I at a place of why is it stagnant? Why am I not moving? And so being in this room today, this was literally a room of nobody. Like I didn't not nobody, but I didn't know anyone in this room. And that's when it dawned on me that my seasons are changing. The season of who I am, what I do, and why I do it has changed. And the effect of that and being okay with it. Like literally my thought process is different. Who I'm around, who I indulge is different. And then how often I indulge people is different than before, simply because I understand that it's a seasonal change. Like, and it's okay. But I think that when you have these changes, I also had to look at myself. Like, although my brand has progressed and changed and moved into the sustainability features that it needs to continue to grow and be who we're going to be until whenever. I also had to look at myself and how much I've personally changed, especially over the last year. And I mean, and I can't even say the last year, I would even say even into the last 6 months. What people don't realize is moving into this season right now is very hard for me. November, December, January is just not good time. It's not, they aren't like, I love Christmas. Y'all know I love the holidays. And I was thinking about that, how it's really weird that the season that I absolutely love became the hardest season for me to go through in life, in the last 3 years. And so I was like, dang, so seasons do change. But I've changed a lot. And I want you guys to look at, it's okay to change and it's okay to grow. And some people in your life will not get it and they will not understand. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with the transition, but also transitioning with grace. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be nasty. You don't. I have people that's like, oh, I'm in a new season, and God said, hey, Brittany, and God said it's time for me to let go of people. I got to let go of the people because these people. Well, y'all, is that in love? Is that how God would actually really do it? Like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Especially if these people haven't really done anything to you. It's just the stagnicity of their life is not where you are. And that's not any fault of yours. And that doesn't make them a bad person. It just simply means that you guys are just on different levels, right? And so you have to look at what that looks like for you and changing the way that you deal with your relationships. And so when you look at seasons really do change. And we get so stuck in the past season for fear that people will be upset, that we don't move and grow and be who God has called us to be. So now, not only are we upset because we know we're supposed to be more, do more, have more, but we haven't done it because we're just afraid to shift in this season based off of what everyone else will say. Then we have an attitude, we become mean and nasty, grumpy. We begin to have regret. Then we begin to take it out on other people. Well, it's not their fault that you didn't do what God told you to do and you didn't shift. That's your fault. You know what I'm saying? And even if they don't understand your shift, if you know that this is what God called you to do and you are 1,000% sure, you got to shift. I mean, at this point in my life, I'm at that place where I'm in the beginning stages of business. I don't care what anybody tell you, you're not going to do everything right. You're just not, because you are still trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure out what services you really want to do versus what services you can do. You're trying to figure out the flow, what clientele you really want to have versus the clientele that's actually reaching out to you. Like, it's so many things and so many areas of business and in life that your seasons begin to change, and we get so stuck into what it used to be or we think it's supposed to look like. One of the issues that I have the most, hey, if you're here, let me know that you're here. One of the issues that I have the most with people is moving their thought process of where they are and what they think it should be versus what it really is. So here, in marketing and even in PR, it's like, you love your brand. You absolutely love your brand. And I want you to love your brand. Okay. I'm not saying that. I want you to love your brand, but it's not designed for other people to love it, especially like the media, right? So when I say, hey, we need to make just some adjustments or changes so that it will appeal more to the media outlets that you want to target, people get mad because they don't want to change. Well, I mean, you got to do some shifting. Hey, you got to do some shifting. You have to do some changing. Hey, Wendy, how are you? You have to do those things if you want to get to the next level, or if you want to attract that certain clientele, that news outlet, whatever that looks like, right? So I've been at a place where I've really been talking about to my clients about, and I'm actually to some of my clients, and I'm going to start through the whole list, is really talk about what season are you in? And where do you want to go? Because in the seasons, people do change. Now, the expectation, here's the other part of business, is the expectation. Like, for me, people want you to do stuff for free or barely nothing, right? And so it's a difference if you are bartering and you have a collaborative effort and you've talked about it. You've talked about the expectations versus, hey, I want you to scale your services to fit what I need to help me grow, and you're not growing because I want you to fit where what's comfortable for me, get me to this place, but you haven't grown. You're not going to grow in this, but I'm gonna grow. Hey, how are you? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what season is that? Like, how does that work? And then when people feel as though they can, like, there are certain aspects of everybody's job that somebody can do. I totally agree with that. But there is a certain je ne sais quoi that people have, and that's why they do what they do. So, like the worst thing you can ever say to me is, "Give me this information and I'll take it from there." Take what from where? You don't have a communications degree. You don't have, okay, so it may go positive, but what happens if it goes negative? If it goes negative, then you're going to be calling me, because that's what we do in communications. We handle both sides. I can't do that. I can't jump in when it's bad. You know what I'm saying? So I realized I was a jump in when it's bad. I was a jump in part-time person. I was a jump in just enough to get, to get you there type of situation. And I realized that I had to change the way, the season that I'm in business with our growth, and change the way that I'm attacking and addressing what I do in all aspects of my life and of my business, because I am a person that's going to give. I'm going to show up and I'm going to give 1,010%. And then, but I'm also the person that's not going to let you play in my face either. Right. So I think that we get to a place where in our growth, we really have to look at what season we're in and what is God telling us to do in this season. And are we making the necessary adjustments, even if people don't understand it and they don't like it? And so and I'm going to caveat here and say, it really gets on my nerves when people use faith-based business as a marketing ploy versus just being a faith-based business. I don't have to put I'm faith-based on my brand. What I need to do is show it through my actions, through the words, through how I operate and through I work and how I work, to show people. And then when people ask me how, then I can then be a living witness to my faith and how my faith has gotten me where I am and my belief system has gotten me where I am, versus putting faith. So, like, I ain't gonna lie. I think one of the reasons why it bothers me so is I work somewhere where they use faith in the title of the business, right? And so one day we just had this conversation about it, because I'm newer in my walk with Christ and I'm excited. You know how when you like really get to know God for real for the first time, you be on fire, like everything be just, and you want everybody to feel the way you feel, right? So that's where I was at. And so I was asking him, I was like, I love the name, like, and I worked there, right? So I was like, why did you choose that name? Baby, do you know they told me? Because they knew that Christian people would come and pay because it had it in the name. And then they would play music, gospel music inside, because they knew that that's attracted their market. And so that always stuck with me. So I think that's why I have a little angst towards it. But I really want people to understand, like, we do say, if it's a registered faith-based business, let it be a registered faith-based business, but also understand the seasons that your business is in. Most times when people say it's faith-based or I am a Christian in business, people think that you're not supposed to run the business like a business, right? So what season is your business in? Is it in the growth? Is it in the growth season? And is it in the baby step season? Is it in the fully walking? Are you running? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you in business? And when you look at where you are in business, as you're growing, look at where you are in life. Where I am right now is not where I was 10 years ago as a person. I've changed tremendously in the past 10 years. I'm just not the same person, so I can't move the same way that I used to move. I can't act the same way that I used to act. I can't do the same things that I used to do, because one, I don't want to, some of it, and two, I'm just not that person. I've outgrown it, and I'm mature enough to say, hey, that's what I used to do. Like, I used to do those things, and I'm not saying negative stuff. I'm talking about just in general. It could have been very positive. It's just not something I want to do now, or I've outgrown that. And so you have to really look at what season you're in life and in your business, and understand that it's okay to grow. It's okay to shift. It's okay to mature. It's okay to say, hey, there was a season. Like, here's the thing that people, I had somebody say something to me the other day that really kind of struck me, because we charge for our services. I mean, that's what businesses do, right? So they wanted me to do some things half off or free. And so they were like, well, you don't want to help new businesses. Well, let me say, I was a new business. And honestly, we right now we are a new business, right? But how what you don't know is you're coming into the game and knowing me now. I've been doing this since 2012. 2012, 2013, almost 2014, I did stuff for half price, little to none. So I've done things, and now it got to the point for me in the season of business where God was like, you're either going to charge for your services, or you're going to go out of business because you're not making money because you're giving away everything, right? So then I said, okay, well, how do I bring the love of wanting to help people into what I do? The things that here are three things that we do in business, and how the seasons had to change when it came to that in business for us. Now, one, there are 1 to 2 businesses a month. I'm sorry, a month. 1 to 2 businesses a year that we will say, all right, hey, we will do the services, but we'll do it half price, or we'll do it for free, just depending on what it is. Usually it's half the fee of our regular. We may do that once or twice a year. And usually that's when God tells me to do it. To be honest, it ain't no application process. It's just, I talk to them, I feel it. God has brought them on my spirit. They know, right? 2, every new opportunity that I have, whether it's a course, an event, anything like that, I am always going to do it at a much lower price than I know that it's valued at in the beginning. That's how we sow back. So when I first launch something, I want y'all to know that the price that you see when I first launch something is our give back price. And that's just how everything that I've done in the last 3 or 4 years, maybe even 5, that's how I've done it. It's always going to be at a lower rate. It won't stay that way the next time, simply because that's me sewing back. It's either going to be 1 or 2 things at a very low rate or complimentary. And if it stays complimentary, that's because God said that that's what that is for. And it's going to always be a service that we do for free, or an event that we do for free, or whatever. But any other time, the first time when we sow back into you, right? So then we have that. We sow back in for the first time. We may give complimentary or half pricing to people. And then the third thing is that we, in some cases, offer payment plans for things, like for people to kind of shift that. What I found in that, though, is there is such an integrity in that space that in the last year, people just have not been integral with that type of payment structure. So it's something that I'm still asking God about. Like, do we still got to do this? Because the way people, like, it's just been very unintegral. Let's say that, just the way people been doing stuff. And then the thing is nothing. It's just unintegral. I'm gonna just say that. So I'm just been like, all right, cool. I don't know if that's what we're gonna still continue to do in the future. I'm still I'm still waiting for God's peace into not, or just having peace with the way it is, and letting him deal with the people on the other end, and me do what he has called me to do. But in this season, you really have to look at where you are. The holiday season, moving into, like, literally the first week of November, is not a good week for me as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? It's a shifting week for me. So I have to now, in this season of, okay, I'm launching stuff, I have to speaking events. I have all these things to do right now in this season. And I have all these things to do. And this is the season of joy and a major season of sadness for me. So now I have to shift and really know where I am in my season of grief, what I can really handle. Last year I could handle nothing. This year I really was prepping this whole year. Y'all don't understand. Like I have been prepping myself for this season because of the way last season was for me. And so I'm like, all right, so how am I going to be, and what am I going to do? and how do I want to be in this season, and how do I want to move forward and continue to deal, and how do I want to grow, and what does that look like, and am I okay with people not being happy with changes that I've made? Am I okay with those who are used to me being a certain way upset because I'm not that way anymore? Am I okay with shifting? Am I okay with being who God has called me to be and do what he has called me to do in this season of my life, whether people like it or not? Because I have always, y'all know, like I'm always supporting and helping, and I want people to be excited. I want to help people. I want to help, I'm always doing something, right? Um and so I've had to really look at myself. I've given so much over the past 10 years that even now, like today, I was sitting down on the couch and I was thinking, like, yep, it's about time for me to really start focusing on me 100% more than I have in the past. Saying no a lot more to family, to friends, to business associates, just and saying yes to me, and yes to the things that make me happy. And yes, you know what I'm saying? And whether you like it or not, I'm not even sorry if you don't. I'm not because this is me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sorry that you don't like what I'm doing in my life or in my business or the decisions that I'm making according to what I feel is right and what God is telling me to do. I'm not sorry for that because I am confident that I'm doing what He has called me to do in this season. So I'm not sorry. Why would I be sorry to do doing what God has called me to do? Why would I be like that? You know what I'm saying? So I want you guys to really think about what season you're in your life and even and in your business, and I want you to make the necessary changes and adjustments that you need to make. Continue to do the things that are working in this season for you, but make those necessary adjustments and don't be afraid to do so. Don't be afraid. Now, here, let me caveat, Lord Jesus. Let me caveat, okay? I am unmarried. Okay, some of you may not be. So there may be some things that you just cannot do based off of your relationship status. So I'm not saying, do all that. What I'm saying is that you have to seek God on those decisions. And if God is pressing you and telling you that even still and even with I need you to do this, then you need to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely hope that you guys are continuing to walk in the spirit of who God has called you to be, to believe in who He has called you to be and what He has called you to do. And like I said the other day, just a statement that was said to me a couple weeks ago in a group setting. She said to us, stop begging God and just start believing Him. And I wrote it. I have it on my little book. I mean, on my little, I said my little book, my little board right here. Like, I have it on my board and it sits right on my desk so that I can see it as I'm working. Like, I can literally see it as I'm working, because I need to keep that at the forefront of who I am and what I do in this season of my life, because I have to believe God like never before, in ways that I've never believed Him before. And I'm ready to see the manifestation of His glory and blessings in my life in a new and vibrant way. So, guys, listen, it's up to you. It is up to you. So you set the tone for your day, year, and life. And remember to always, always make it a great one, y'all. Talk to you soon.